In this video, I'll be sharing with you guys a detailed step-by-step guide on how to draft a built-up neckline on a gown with structured hip. As always, it's your girl Uwa Apparel. Kindly hit the subscribe button and let's get started. So on the table, I have here my pattern paper, which is already in a fold, okay? And I've gone ahead to draft the basic lines used for pattern drafting. So at the very top is my starting line, followed by my chest line, bust line, under bust line, and then my waist line. I left out about 3 inches of space at the top there, which we're going to be using to draft our neckline pattern. So from my starting line to the chest line is 8.5 inches, as you can see, and then from the chest line to the bust line is 10.5 inches, and from the starting line to my on the bust line is 14 inches, and to my waist is 16 inches. So the first measurement I'm going to be taking at the top there will be my shoulder to shoulder. So I simply made a point there and I'm running a straight line across it to meet the chest line. So my next measurement will be my neckline, which is 3.5 inches. You could do 3 inches depending on what you want, but I was fine with 3.5 inches. Remember, this is not your normal neckline pattern, so the only measurement there we took is simply 3.5 inches. So next, I went ahead to take my shoulder slope of 1 inch and I'll be connecting it back to that neck point, as you can see. So from that point now at the shoulders there, I'm going inward by quarter of an inch. So that's what I just did. And then again, I took from that same point 1 inch back into the shoulder slope. I hope you understand. First, I went in by quarter of an inch, made a point there, and then I took it backward towards the shoulder slope by 1 inches. So using my straight rule now, from that quarter of an inch, I went up by 1.5 inches. From that top there, we're going to be going inward using our curve rule. But first, we need to determine how deep we want our neckline pattern to be. So I'm taking a measurement of 5.5 inches there, okay? So I'm simply going to be using my curve rule now to connect that point all the way to the top, as you can see me do right now. So to finish up this front neckline pattern, I'm going to be drawing a curve around that point. I'm indicating with my fingers now because we cannot just cut our pattern like that. We'll not be able to properly run our stitches, okay? So it's important you create a curve around that portion. If you know you're very good, you could also use your free hand. So I'm done with that now, and you can see how neatly done it's looking. So the next measurement I'm taking now is half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches rather. So I'll make a point there, and I repeated the same measurement on my under bust line and also on my waistline. So I'll go ahead now to connect the points together with my straight rule. And then I'll be taking my dart measurement on both sides of the line. So to my left, I'll take half of an inch, and then outward, I'll take 1.5 inches. So together, the dart will be 2 inches. So take note that the dart measurement I took was on the bust line and then on the waist line. So I'll go ahead now to connect it also using my straight rule. So now the next thing we'll be doing is using the curve side to connect it all the way to the chest point there, as you see me do right now. So I'm also repeating it on the other side as well. So one thing I noticed after taking these darts was that when joining my bustier pattern, the dart I took was too wide. Okay, so if you are to take your dart, you would it I advise you take a dart measurement of half an inch towards the left and 1 inch towards the right instead of 2 inches of that. So I had to make adjustments while stitching, and it still turned out perfect. Okay, so ensure to take note of that. So the next thing I'm doing now after drafting my armhole is trying to get the midpoint, which I just did, and then I went up by half of an inch on my chest line, and using my curved rule, I'm simply connecting the point back into my dart area, as you can see. I would also go ahead to take my dart measurement around the armhole there. So I'm simply taking a measurement of half an inch on both sides of the darts. Okay. Then using my curve rule, I'll be blending it back into the curve. So, having done that, it is important that we extend the lower one of those three curves around the armhole there, because while stitching, it's going to become shorter. Okay, and so we extended it by 1 inch, and then you can see me using my curve now to also extend it on the chest line. So I'm simply checking what the new measurement is, and then I added extra 1.5 inch seam allowance to it. For my waist measurement is 32 inches divided by 4, which is 8. I also added the dart measurement of 2 inches, which was taken earlier, and I added extra 1 inch seam allowance. And after that, I simply just connected the waist point to the chest point there using my curve rule. So you can see me cancelling out the initial armhole area, would not be needing that, and then also the darts portion would not also be needing. So I went ahead now to cut out my pattern, which I would require for the cutting of my fabric. So ensure that you cut carefully so you don't trim out the portion that you need. So guys, this is what the front pattern is looking like. This is what we're going to be using for the cutting of the front pattern of our gown, as with structured hip and a built-up neckline pattern. So we'll be setting this aside now to work on the back of the top portion of our gown. So on my pattern paper, I went ahead to draft my basic pattern, which I did for the front. So the difference is simply the zipper allowance on the side. Okay, so I also went ahead to take my nipple to nipple measurement, as you can see, and then on my waistline I took my that measurement of half an inch on both sides, and I'm simply connecting it all the way to the point I made there now using my straight row. So after taking my darts, I'll go ahead now to the chest line to take my bust circumference measurement, which is 10 inches, as you can see there. And then I added extra 1 inch to it for seam allowance. And on my waist, I am taking a measurement of 8 inches, which is 32 inches divided by 4. And I added the dart which I took earlier, and also added extra 1.5 inch allowance on the side. So I'm simply using my curve rule now to connect the waist point to the armhole area. Okay, so back to my neckline for the back. I am taking the measurement I took earlier for the front, which is 1/4 inch inward and 1 inch towards the shoulder slope. And then also I am going up by 1.5 inches, as you can see, and using my straight rule, I'm drawing a straight line across it like so. All right, and then to also smoothen it on the side, I'm also creating a curve effect like I did to the front as well. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to use the curved side of my rule now to draft a curved line like you see me do right now. So this is how the back neckline is, and then I went ahead to trim out my pattern. So now I have my back pattern for the top of our gown, and I also have the front pattern cut out neatly. So this is how the front pattern is looking, and the back as well. So this is what I'll be using to cut on my fabric. So the next one we're going to be cutting now is the skirt portion of our structured gown or structured hip dress. So I have my fabric in a fold. I have that of the front and that of the back. So the one for the back has zipper allowance, and you can also see that the one for the front is lower on the waist area by 1 inch. Okay, so that's what I just showed you there right now. So the first measurement I'm going to be taking now will be my waist measurement divided by 4, which is 8. So I will mark it out there. Okay, and I'll go ahead to add extra seam allowance of 1.5 inches. And then from my waist point to my hip is 10 inches. So I would indicate that, and also on that same point I'll go ahead to take my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 10 inches, so I made an indication there as well, and then I'll be adding extra 1.5 inch for seam allowance as well. So for the full length of my skirt, I'm going to be taking the measurement for the hip on the full length of my skirt. Then I would also add 1/2 inch extra to it. So instead of 11.5, I would now be taking 12 inches. So I'll go ahead now to use my curve rule to connect the 3 points there together like you see me do right now. And this is the pattern for our skirt. So you could make your skirt shorter, you could make your skirt broader around the border area, but this is how I like my skirt. I don't want it too short in such a way that I would not be able to wear it out. Okay, so I'm simply taking my that measurement now around the waist of 4 inches like I did to the top of this dress, and then I simply made notches at that point there, so I'll be able to identify the portion and then sew my that. So after I was done, I simply went ahead to trim out the pattern and then remove the portion that I would not be needing. Okay, so I've also gone ahead to cut out the pattern for the top portion of our gown. So I have my center front, my side front, and then also my back pattern. So for my center front, I cut out my lining piece alongside the main fabric, and I also went ahead to cut out my hair stay. So I'm going to be attaching hair stay to the top of this dress. So we'll be attaching it to the main fabric and also to the lining piece. Okay, so for the side front I cut out 4 pieces, and for the center front I cut out 2 pieces, one for the lining and one for the main fabric, as you see me showing you now. Okay, So for the back, I only cut out one air stay. Okay, so you know there are two pieces for the back, and then I only cut out one piece for the two pieces of the back because I didn't have enough air stay. So for the top we are using air stay, and for the skirt we'll be using paper stay, and the paper stay will be attaching to the lining of the skirt, not the main fabric. Okay, so I have here my skirt fabric and my lining piece and my paper stay. So guys, we have come to the end of today's tutorial video. In my next video, I'll be sharing with you guys a detailed step-by-step guide on how I joined all my fabrics together. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.